Good morning, everyone, and welcome into Yang Yin Yoga. We are going to get started. I hope that you're having a lovely day in Canada this morning. It's 9 a.m., and we've got a beautiful sunny day. My name is Julia, and I'm the head coach of Team Triumph Triathlon Club. There it is, Team Triumph. And we are going to do a Yanyan practice today just to wake up a little bit and then stretch and stretch and stretch the spine and the back and the inner thighs and all of that good stuff. Are we live? No, we're not live. Okay, so I'm going to keep recording and hopefully this is going to come up live. We had a few troubles doing. All right, so I want to introduce you to Martin, my handy assistant, who's going to be helping us out. Martin doesn't do a lot of yoga. He's done some yoga on the hill. We have it on Parliament Hill here, but not an experienced yogi, so which is great. So if I see something that we need to correct, there's a good chance that some of you may need corrections as well. So we're going to start in a nice comfortable seat. We've got the option here to take a pillow or a blanket and sit on it. We don't have a lot of props. We're in COVID lockdown right now. So we're using blocks and pillows and whatever we've got. So you can sit on a block if you like. Or if you don't need to sit on a block, you can take the blocks underneath your knees. What you want to do is try to find yourself a comfortable seat that you can sit for a while. That you're not sort of feeling like you're stiff and sore. When we're in this seat, you want to be able to relax. That's the main part of it. So we're going to do a little bit of meditation to open up our practice this morning. Let's just start to soften the eyes and close them right down. We'll inhale to take the shoulders up towards the ears and exhale to drop them back behind the ears. Let's try that one more time. Inhale to take those shoulders up towards the ears. And exhale to take them back behind the ears. Just noticing how things start to soften as we exhale. Options here, you can take your fingers into a mudra. Maybe you've got thumb to middle finger or thumb to second finger, starting to make you feel a little bit more grounded and connected to the earth. Maybe it's more comfortable to have your hands facing down on your knees, or maybe you want to turn those hands over and open them up to receive. Settling into your breath, softening down through the shoulders, softening down through the elbows, softening down in the arms and into the hands. Just start to focus on your breath. We're going to start with the 1 to 2 breath. Inhaling for 2 and exhale for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Inhale for 2 and exhale for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Keep focusing on the count and making the count part of your meditation, keeping you here, keeping you present, staying on the mat. As you inhale, start to deepen the breath now, inhaling for 3 and exhaling for 6. Think about an intention as you're inhaling and exhaling, your intention of why you came to the mat today. What is it that you, and maybe setting a physical intention around paying attention to your body, to your mind, to your breath throughout the practice, and making sure that when you're in a pose that you feel comfortable in that pose, honoring your body, and knowing that at any time you can come out of that pose, giving yourself permission to relax, to enjoy. We'll take one more deep breath, maybe inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 8. Taking a little tuck into the chin, keeping your eyes closed. And then slowly start to open your eyes as you lift your head all the way back up. Noticing the wonderful changes in your body already from just a few deep breaths. Come onto your hands and knees. We're going to do a few, sorry, not yet. Stay seated. We're going to do a few stretches in seated first. So we're coming together in lifting up those arms up and overhead. Inhale, reaching those arms up. And exhale, take those hands back down to your side. Inhale, lift up. Look up and exhale. Take those hands back down to your side. This is our morning stretch. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands down by your side. Inhale, reach. And exhale, reach those hands back down to your side. One more inhale. And as you exhale, take the right hand down to the mat, reach the left arm up and overhead, stretch. Take the left hand down and reach the right arm up and over your head, reaching right on over to your side. Wow, feeling that lovely stretch go from side to side, flowing with your breath, feeling the stretch from your fingertips into your hips, just flowing one side to the other side. Feel free to hold on to one side a little bit longer if you like, if you feel like you need a little more time. This is the part of where we say we need to stay present and pay attention to the body, making sure that what you're feeling is what you want out of this stretch, and taking as much time as you need in each stretch to relax and hold. All right, we'll take the hand back down to the mat. Take your hands onto your hips and just start to make little circles. Inhaling as you move round to the front and exhaling as you come round to the back. Again, moving at a pace that works for you, works for your breath. This is a great time to start to check in to see what's going on in your body at this time. What are you feeling? Are you feeling stiff and sore? Are you feeling loose this morning? All right, let's start to rotate on the other side, rotating around from one side to the other side, relaxing into the shoulders, and just start to dance like nobody's watching. You're at home and nobody is watching. It doesn't matter.
You're on YouTube, right?
And we'll inhale to come back to center. All right, cat cow is next. So come on to your hands and knees. So again, Martin hasn't done a lot of yoga, which is great because I want to make sure that a lot of you guys out there know that yoga is available to anyone and there's no version that's better than another. It's the version that's right for your body. So we've got the hands directly underneath the shoulders here, and we've got the knees directly underneath the hips. So we're going to inhale to lift the back of the head up and lift up towards the buttocks. As you exhale, drop your chest and then round your spine, looking down towards your chest. Exhale, look up, drop the chest, lift up, and exhale, round the spine. Keep flowing with the breath just like that. Again, up to you how fast you want to go, right? Listen to your body, pay attention to what it needs. Move at a pace that works for you. And exhale. And we'll inhale to come to a neutral spine, nice flat back, and just look right on over your right foot. So we're kind of pushing out the left hip and looking over the right foot, turning into a bit of a banana here. We call it banana asana on our hands and knees. And let's look on over to the other side. Inhaling and exhaling as you go. Looking to the other side. One more stretch there. And inhale and exhale to the other side. And inhale back to center. We're going to come into a sun salute now. Uh, thread the needle next. Inhale, take the right arm up towards the sky. And exhale, poke it through the hand and the knee, bringing your head down onto the mat. Inhale, reach the arm all the way up. And exhale, poke it through the hand and the knee, taking the head down onto the mat. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, poke it through. And inhale to reach up. And exhale, poke it through and hold it down. So as you're holding it down, we've got the hand on the mat, the arm on the mat. You've got the back of your head reaching onto the mat. You can keep the left hand on the mat, or you can take the left hand and put it onto your right hip over there. That feels good. If it doesn't, just stay where you were, taking a few breaths right there. This is a nice spinal twist as we continue to open up in through the spine this morning. Start to stretch out and relax and stretch. And we'll inhale to take the left hand back down to the mat, reach the right arm up towards the sky. And exhale, take the hand down to the mat. All right, playing on the other side now. Let's lift the left arm up towards the sky. And exhale, poke it through the right hand and the right knee, taking the head down onto the mat. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, poke it through. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, poke it through and hold it right down, right down. So we've got the back of the head on the mat. And then if you want, you can release the right hand and take it onto your left hip. Taking a few breaths there, enjoying this lovely spinal twist. Just breathing there. Maybe when you come into a holding pose, you want to work back onto your 1 to 2 breath, inhaling for 2 and exhaling for 4. Maybe you've decided that 3 to 6 feels better for you. Go where you need to go and enjoy. Okay, we're going to do a few more warm-ups here, coming back out of that stretch. So we're going to release that hand back down to the mat and then take the left arm up towards the sky and then bring it right back down. So I like to do Dr. Stuart McGill's top 3, big 3, he calls them, for warm-ups. These are the best spinal exercises to strengthen in through your core muscles. So we're going to start in bird dog. So we're already on our hands and knees. So taking the right arm out in front, reach the left leg right out to the back. As you reach the right arm out in front, make sure you've got a nice fist with your hand. And we're trying to reach the the left leg back, straighten it as much as you can, press your heel back. There we go. So we got the heel pressed back. We don't want to lift the leg any higher than the hips. So making sure that you've got a nice straight line all the way along from your heel towards your chest, towards the back, and then look down slightly. Just look straight down. That's it. So we've got a nice long spine. We'll take 10 breaths there. Holding that pose out in front. Looking straight down. There we go. Good. Straight down. Keep pressing out through the heel. And exhale, let it go. All right, on over to the other side. We'll take 10 breaths on the other side. So we've got the left arm out in front. Remember to take a fist with that left arm. There we go. Good. And press out through your heel. So you can see we're pressing out through the heel. We don't want that leg to go any higher than the body. Staying with the breath, trying to take 10 breaths right there, keeping it strong, and exhale, let it go. Reaching up through the other arm now, switching over to the other side. So we've got the right arm out, left heel kicking back, and take 5 breaths there, looking straight down. Feeling that power building up in through the whole body here, strengthening in through the core, and then switch on over to the other side. Left arm out in front, right leg kicks back. 5 breaths there. And exhale to let it go. Excellent. All right. We're going to come back into child's pose now, taking your hips back onto your heels. Reach the arms out in front. Take a few breaths, just relaxing there. So we've got the arms straight if they can be, or we can take the hands by the side. There's no best version of child's pose. It's what you need right now. And that's what I always like to come back to. There's no strict protocol in yoga, and there doesn't have to be. This is your body. Listen to its intuition. Pay attention. Just ask it, what does it need right now? You guys know what it needs better than any yoga instructor. Anytime you need to switch around and move into a different pose, just feel what it needs and go for it. All right, we're going to come on back up and come into an elbow plank now. So this is a great exercise for triathletes actually who want to go into their aero bars because it keeps your arms nice and straight. So we've got the elbows directly underneath the shoulders. We've got the hands out in front, and you can clasp them out in front, or you can pretend you're in your aero bars like we are in on the bike. And then take your feet out to the back. Straighten out through the legs. Make sure that you've got a nice neutral spine. We're not trying to lift up, and we're not allowing the back to sag. And we're taking 30 breaths right here. Starting now. So there's a couple of options here. You can take this down to your knees if you like. Maybe you're feeling a little less strong today. You did a big workout yesterday and you need just an easier version of that. Maybe you just need to work up to this because you haven't done a lot of planks before. And at any time that you need to come out of this pose, take it down to your knees. And if you're already down to your knees and you want to come on out, feel free to drop right back into that child's pose where we just were. Martin is busy counting his breath, coming up to 30 breaths. This is a tough hold, but it's a great, great exercise. As I was saying before, Dr. Stuart McGill created the big three, and these are the best exercises for your spine. So as he's done his 30 breaths, he shifts his hips back. And this time we're going to come onto the elbows as you shift your hips back. Take your arms up towards the sky. So elbows, you're on your elbows, and reach your arms together and take them up over your head. So we've got the arms up and overhead like that. There we go. You could also, if you wanted to, lift your hips up a little bit higher here and come into puppy dog and take your elbows a little bit farther forward on the mat. And there you're going to feel the stretch more in through your lats. So it's sort of like you're going into down dog. Press back and take the hands up and overhead. There we go. So did you feel that shift there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the shift went into the latissimus dorsi, those muscles underneath the armpits there. And again, if you want, you can have your hips up a little bit higher. People with knee problems have a little bit of trouble going into child's pose, so puppy dog is a great alternative for that. Okay, that was number 2, the elbow plank. Number 3, we're going to come on to our back. So come on out of that stretch, lifting your hips up and back, and then just tuck your feet underneath your buttocks and come onto your back. So the next one is the mini curl up, it's called. So a lot of you may have grown up doing crunches, and crunches really aren't good for our spine. We've discovered that it's not a good option. So this is a better version for the spine. So what you're going to do is take your hands and stick them right underneath your lower back. So take both hands right underneath your lower back, just where that curve is in your lower back. There we go. And take one leg up off the mat. So we'll take the right leg just off the mat, about an inch off the mat. Again, pressing out through the heel. Try not to point your toe there. Let's move the camera back there. There we go. You can see him there. Good. And now lift up from your chest. Lift up, lift up off the mat. Good. Coming into a little crunch. Look up at the ceiling. Now lift your elbows up at the same time if you can. And we'll take 10 breaths right there. If this is bothering in your neck, just take your teeth together, clench them together, and take the tongue onto the roof of your mouth, and that'll take some of the tension off your neck. And exhale, let that go. Take a couple of breaths right there. And we'll go on over to the other side. So we'll lift the left foot just off the mat by an inch. Lift up the chest. Look at the ceiling. And then lift up the elbows. Take 10 breaths right there. If you're finding this a little bit too advanced for you right now, the option would be to take the elbows down, or maybe take the foot down and just do the top end. Completely up to you. Do your best version with 10 breaths. We'll lift up on the other side and just do 5 breaths. So we lift the leg first, lift the chest up, and then lift the elbows up. Take 5 breaths. And on to the other side, lift up, chest up, elbows up, press in through the heel, flex in through the leg, and you should really feel this all through your core now. Counting your breath, which will help you stay present. All right, come on out of that. Do whatever you like now. So you could take your knees up in towards your chest. You could come into happy baby if you like. Just see what your body needs. Martin needed knees into chest. You can rock them from side to side. Just check around and see what your body needs and go into it. Okay, we're going to start to shift more into the yin side of the practice. I like to do some yang first just to get the body moving before we start to ask it to stretch a little bit farther, especially in a morning practice. It's morning here in Canada. So I like to do a little bit of movement before I ask my body to try to stretch a little bit farther than it's used to. So we're going to come into shoelace pose next. So I'm going to ask you to sit on up onto your buttocks. And this is a bit complicated to get into, but once you're into it, it's great. And we'll ask Martin to just turn around and look at the camera so we can see what he's up to. So we're going to take the right knee on top of the left knee and grab hold of your block just to have it available. So we got the right knee on top of the left. So we're kind of twisting into a shoelace here. So you can see my knees are happy to go on top of each other. And you can see where Martin's knees, not so much. I'm hyper flexible, which is never a good thing because that means my joints are super loose. So here we can maybe stick a block underneath his knee if that feels better. Does that feel better?
Okay.
It's okay. Did you like the stretch you were getting before?
Yep.
Yeah, he liked the stretch he was getting before, so he's okay. For some of you,
I'm okay.
he's okay. For some of you, having that other leg underneath may be a little bit too much tension on the knee, in which case you could straighten out the leg completely and just have that knee up. So feel around for what works, because we're going to be holding this now that we're working in the yin side of the practice now. So coming into that, making sure that that's where you need to be. start to take a twist from there. So we're going to take the right hand onto the right thigh and then start to take a twist towards the back. Now, in yin practice, because we hold the stretch a lot longer, you want to make sure that you're going to an edge that feels okay. We're not trying to push it. We don't want to struggle in this pose. We want to feel like we can fully relax because we'll be here for a little while. So if that's too much on your neck, just back it off a little bit and ask yourself if that feels better. The main thing is that you're sitting up nice and tall. You don't want to lean. We've got the left hand just behind the buttocks. And we just want to hold on to it. Maybe relax in through your shoulder a little bit more. There we go. We can bring that down a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. That feels better, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Check around through your body and see if you're holding any tension anywhere. Remembering what the physical intention of the practice was today, and that was to pay attention. First, we pay attention to the body, asking ourselves if this feels good. If you feel any kind of tension in through the body, ask it to relax. And if you feel any kind of pain, come on out of it. We don't want to have any pain in the twist. It should feel nice, just like it's opening things up, not compressing the spine, no sharp pain. Even a dull ache, we don't want to feel a dull ache. It just feels good. It feels good to stretch. And once you've established that, come back to the breath. Ask yourself if you were holding your breath there. And if you were, let that go and come back to this breath. Inhaling for 2 and exhaling for 4. Maybe lengthening that breath. Inhaling for 3, exhaling for 6. Staying present, being in this moment. Staying committed to having no struggle in the pose. Staying committed to moving if you need to. Paying attention to what's going on in the body. This should be a feeling that you like, that you enjoy. We'll shift in shoelace, taking the right hand behind the spine and taking the elbow out to the side. As we do this, we're going to reach down onto the left hand and move it to the side. And here, there we go, we can start to lean. If that doesn't feel good, you can take a block maybe underneath that hand, or you could take a block underneath the elbow and lean on a block sideways that way. So we've just intensified the stretch just a little bit. Here now we're feeling the stretch all over the body, the side body on the right. We're stretching in through there. You'll start to feel a stretch in through your shoulder there as you start to poke the hand up, directing the fingertips of the right hand up your spine. Again, coming back to how this feels. Does it feel a little bit too close to your edge that you're getting pain? And if it does, back it off. Maybe move around, shift around onto a hand, or maybe the elbow's not working for you. For those of you who are more flexible, you could remove the block and maybe take the elbow right down to the mat. just going to shift around. There we go. And sometimes when you get into a stretch, you find after a couple of breaths, you're able to move around and make it a little bit more intense, but intense in a good way, not in a bad way. And we'll take the hand that's behind the back onto the knee, and then lift yourself all the way back up to seated, holding on to the shoelace on your knees if you can. If that doesn't feel right, remember you can release at any time. And then we're shifting now into eagle arms. So we're going to take the right hand elbow on top of the left elbow. And if you can, try to lift those arms up a little bit higher. So we're feeling the stretch up in the upper back now. For some, holding on to the hands may not be available, so we can take those hands apart. For some, maybe lifting up through the elbows doesn't feel nice, so we can hold them down a little bit lower. Checking in on the body and seeing what it needs. And if this is still feeling good, come back to your breath. 1 to 2 breath. Inhaling for 2. And exhaling for 4. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So you can see Martin needed to honor his body here, releasing the hands. He's still okay on his legs. And we'll release the arms, roll those shoulders back, and then release the legs. Take the legs right out in front and shake them out. So we've got the legs out in front. We're just going to give them a nice shake. That feels good to let those go. Feel free to moan and groan as much as you like. Yin poses can be very stiffening, which is a good thing because we need to keep the spine nice and stiff so it's strong and twisty. Okay, if that's feeling good, let's move on over to the other side. So we had the right knee on top last time. This time we have the left knee on top. So again, options here. You can have the foot more on the floor, or you can see I'm a little more hyper flexible, so I've got both knees on top. No best version, do your best version. And if you need to take a block underneath that knee, take a block on underneath that knee. This time we'll take the left hand onto the left knee. Take the right arm right behind your back. Lift up nice and tall. And now start to press your left hand onto your left knee and twist towards the back. As you start to twist, you may feel a couple of snaps and crackles and pops. Those are good things. It's just meaning your spine is letting off some air. Take the hand down to the floor. The right hand stays down on the floor. There we go. Lifting the spine up taller. That helps to lift the spine. And keep twisting as far as you feel comfortable. You don't want to go anywhere past where you feel pain. No discomfort. We have to be able to breathe. And if we have pain or discomfort, we start to lift the shoulders too much and we hold a lot of tension. Come to a place where you can relax your shoulders. And here we go. We don't need to push the head any farther than it feels right. And if that feels good, come back to your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Staying with a commitment to stay present staying present in your body, staying as present with your breath. And we'll start to spin on out of that one. Taking the left hand now behind your back. Left hand behind your back. And we'll point the left hand up the spine. You can kind of see what I'm doing there. Yeah. Okay, good. Nice tall seat. Good. And now start to lean onto the right hand, taking the right hand onto the mat right beside you there. Yeah. Again, if you feel like you can take it down onto a block, onto an elbow, you can do that. There's lots of levels of this that you can do. Lean on over. Feel the stretch in the side body. You'll also feel this on your left hip. Maybe you want to relax your neck a little bit and let that go and stretch in through the neck. Your body, it's your practice. Play around. Be curious about what your body wants to do. And if you're in the place where you feel comfortable, that you can breathe, come on back to your breath. Inhaling for 2 and exhaling for 4. One more deep breath there. And we'll start to come on out. So we release the hand off the block, sit right back up, and release the elbow from behind your back. We have one more stretch to go from here, and that's eagle arm. So we've got the left arm on top of the right arm now. And again, you can take the hands together if that's available. And if it's not, maybe have the hands a little bit more separated. We've got the hypermobile one on the left and not as mobile on the right. And reach those arms up towards the sky. And here you'll feel that stretch move into the upper back, taking it to a place that feels good. And at any time, you can bring the elbows down. The main thing here is you keep that spine nice and tall, which is looking great still there. Staying present and coming back to the breath. Inhale for 2 and exhale for 4. So again, that's a little bit tricky for his shoulders, so Martin needed to release it, but he's staying with his shoelace on the legs. Inhale for 3. Exhale for 6. And we'll release the hands, take them back down, and release the legs. Oh. Shake those legs out. So we got the legs straight and we're just going to shake them out. That feels good. Let them go, let them go, let them go. Maybe move your ankles around. You're kind of stuck in that pose. Maybe you heard them crack. Get those ankles moving. Point and flex your feet. Excellent. Okay. Our next yin series of poses are in forward folds. So definitely we're going to need some pillows or some blankets rolled up for this one, your block, maybe a bolster. So we're going to grab hold of the pillows. I'll give you a minute to get sorted out. And we're going to do 3 parts in this one again in a yin practice. We've got butterfly, and then we'll take the legs apart, and then we'll come into caterpillar with the legs straight. So they're all different versions of forward folds. So starting in butterfly, we'll take the feet together. Feet together, open out the knees. And this is where you're going to need your pillows or your blocks. So we've got the knees out towards the side. We'll throw a couple of pillows there so Martin can allow his body to roll forward and relax on the pillows. So is that enough, or do you want one more?
Give
One
me
more.
everything you've got.
Okay, so he needs them all. All right, so tuck in through the chin and just relax your body on the pillows. I'm just going to grab hold of the block there. Oh, you got it? Okay. Grab hold of the block. And you could actually even take your forehead onto the block if you want, or your chin on the block, but I think we want that neck turned down. Yeah, there we go. If that feels good. No, not so much on the second level. There we go. Yeah, so there he is. That's what's going to work for him. The hypermobile set may look more like this. Completely flopped over. Completely flopped over like that, out to the side. And maybe have a block on your head. So there is my version. I'm going to show you guys my version because I know there's some people who are more flexible than others. Remember, it's not about being more flexible. It's about honoring your body. So I'm going to have my hips out to the side, and I've got my forehead on the block, and I can relax into this pose like that. Check back in with your body. Let's check in time. See how you're feeling. Check if you need any more support anywhere. If you need more support, just add on more blocks, more pillows, maybe a blanket if you don't have blocks at home. Or maybe you're starting to feel like you want to release a pillow because you're opening up a little bit more. Back to the breath we go. Inhaling for 2 and exhaling for 4. Being present, being quiet. And we'll start to come on out of that stretch, release the head, maybe make a stretch from side to side with that head, releasing it as you go, and maybe chin to chest, taking it into little circles. And we'll come into the second forward fold now. We'll release the pillows, take them away for now. And now Martin's going to take his legs out towards the side. So we've got both legs out to the side, opening them up kind of like into the splits. There we go. Opening them out as far as you can. Nice and wide. And we're going to fold into this again. So he will definitely need some pillows here because you can see that he wants to lean back a lot here. So here are the pillows. There's one more behind you there if you need it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so we're going to take the hands onto the thighs and then start to roll forward. And do you need a block there? Are you okay?
I'm good.
You're okay. So we've got the legs out to the side and we're using those pillows in this forward fold again. You want to feel the stretch here in through your inner thighs. Lots of support so that you're not feeling a strain anywhere. For the hypermobile set, maybe you don't need a pillow. And maybe again, you could just use a block. So I'll show you the more mobile version of this. I think my block would be needing to be on level 3. Got my hands on my thighs. And actually I can even reach down to my ankles here, down to my feet, and relax down with the forehead on the block.
Show off.
No, it's not about showing off. It's about being too mobile. I can even get down to level 2 on that block. So up to you where you want to go. No stress, no strain. And back to breath. I want to share a quote which I think is really practical for today. There's a lot of versions of this quote, and if you look them up online, nobody really knows where this quote came from. The clock is running. Make the most of today. Time waits for no man or no woman. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. I think more and more than ever, we need to be thinking about being in the present. We can't worry about the past. We don't want to worry about what's going on in the future because we don't know. There's scientists all over the world fighting this COVID virus and nobody knows what tomorrow is going to bring. So we can't worry about that. That's what brings on anxiety. We have to think about just being in the present and being grateful for being right here in the present, being in the now. And try to stay in the now as you read the news, whether it's good or bad. Thinking about how grateful you are for what you have in your life right now and the people that you have in your life. Like this one. All right, we're going to start to come out of this forward fold now, releasing the pillows again. And the third forward fold, we bring the feet together, coming into caterpillar pose, it's called. So we've got the feet together. Bring the pillows on back. Because now we're going to forward fold with the feet together. That good? One more. Okay. So take those arms right on over the pillows. Take your forehead down. And now we're folding down with the legs straight. So for the hypermobile set, we're going to take the hands down towards the feet. And I definitely would want a block or a pillow to allow my head to rest. Yeah, no, the block's going to work, I think, for now. And settle in there. You can see what's going on. So we've got the legs straight. There we go. You comfortable there? Yeah, you're good. So for people who have a little bit of spinal compression at L4, L5, which is the lower lumbar spine, or the SI, the sacroiliac joint, this may be a little bit much. So in which case you want to sit up just a little bit taller and let that struggle release and find a place where you can feel the erector spinae, the muscles in your lower back just sort of stretching. But you don't want to feel that sort of tug or pull on your lower back in the spine, no pain. And if you start to feel any kind of shooting, tingling or numbness down one leg, that could be a little bit of that sacroiliac joint talking to you, your SI joint talking to you. Just so sit up a little bit taller if you need to. Coming back with that intention of staying present, being in this moment. And back to the breath. Inhaling for 2 and exhaling for 4. Inhaling for 3 and exhaling for 6. And release that stretch. That was enough. Ooh, I think you're getting a little sleepy too. This is a great practice to do at the end of the day as well, before you go to bed at night. Release some stress. So come on up to seated. Release all those pillows. Let them go. And I think we'll need to come onto our back. So come on to your back. What do you need? Knees into chest or windshield wiper the legs? What do you feel like you need? Yeah, he needs those knees in the chest again. Yeah, he needs a beer. Martin is also known as our director of logistics and humor. And he certainly brings humor to all of us when we need it. When those dark clouds come in, he injects the humor, especially when we're out on our training camps and everybody's going hard. He'll throw a little humor in there to lighten the load. Okay, we're just going to windshield wiper the legs too to prepare us for our final yin pose. Taking the feet out the width of the mat. Yep, so we've got one foot on one side of the mat and one on the other. Knees are still bent. And we're going to windshield wiper the legs on over to the left. And as we do that, we'll windshield wiper the arms to the right. So bring both arms over to the right. Change that camera position so you can see his arms are to the right. The legs are to the left. And then windshield wiper the legs on over to the right and the arms to the left. There we go. Flow with some breath. Back and forth from one side to the other side. Inhaling and exhaling as you move from one side to the other side. And come back to center. Take the feet together, knees together, And take both knees over towards the left side and take the arms into a T position. If you're a little bit more flexible, you can come into what's called twisted root and cross the right leg over the left leg. So cross the right leg over the left and take both knees over to the side. So that's twisted root there. Or you can come into that more simple version of a spinal twist. If it feels right, just look over your right shoulder, stretching in through the neck. If that doesn't feel good, look over your left shoulder and see if that feels better. Staying present in your body and then coming back to the breath. Counting your inhales and counting your exhales. Making the most of your today. Moving the head back to center. Move the knees back to center. Release the cross of your legs if you've decided that you needed to cross the legs. And we'll pop on over to the other side. So option is to cross the legs. Option 2 is to keep the knees together. And we've got both knees over on the right side now. Arms are open into a T position. And we're just looking over the left shoulder if that feels nice. Honoring the body for what it needs today. Noticing if you're more stiff on one side than the other side. We don't have to go to exactly the same place on both sides because sometimes we have a little more tension on one side of the spine than the other side. So just back off a little bit if you're feeling more tension on this side than the other side. And come back to the breath. Inhaling for 2 and exhaling for 4. Staying to that, with that commitment to staying present in this moment on the mat. Noticing any sounds in the room. Taking the head back to center, drifting the eyes open, bring the knees back to center, uncross those legs, moaning and groaning just a little bit, it's all good. And we'll drop down into Shavasana unless there's another pose that you need before you go there. Feel free to do that pose, maybe happy baby, maybe knees to chest, whatever feels good. As we drop down into Shavasana, we'll straighten out the legs. Allow the legs to spread as much as they need to on the mat. The arms can be by your side, the palms facing up now. Taking the arms nice and wide. Having a look around for your shoulder blades so you can soften in through your chest a little bit more. There we go. Take a little tuck of your chin so you straighten out the spine, but not so much that you feel like you're adding tension to your neck. And if that's all lined up as you want it, start to scan your body for any tension. Use that intuition to look around and see where you're holding tension at this time. And as you're doing that, maybe sending a little breath to that area to let that tension go. Take the tongue to the roof of your mouth and unhinge your jaw, allowing your lips to spread apart slightly. See if you can relax those shoulders just a little bit more. Let them drop. Let them feel like gravity is taking them down to the earth. Just knowing you're fully supported on your mat, fully supported by the earth. Checking around in the lower body and seeing if you can release any more tension there. What are you holding on to? Let that go. Your breath is becoming more and more relaxed with every inhale and with every exhale. Slowing down to a place and a breath that we wake up to in the morning. No effort, just there, present. We'll start to bring movement back into the fingers, into the toes, rolling out the wrists, rolling out the ankles. We'll take a full body stretch. Reach those arms up and overhead. Take a deep inhale through the nose and a deep exhale through the mouth. One more inhale and one more exhale. Taking the knees in towards the chest, roll on over to your right side, using your right arm as a pillow to support your head. Fetal pose. Taking a couple of breaths right there. Enjoying this moment. Sending gratitude towards yourself for taking time today for your personal care. Gratitude for the amazing things your body can do in each and every day if you ask it to. Taking time to be present. And we'll lift on up out of that pose now. You can take your left hand down to the mat and lift yourself all the way up to seated. We'll finish off an easy pose, taking the legs crossed on the mat. And if this doesn't feel good, you can take a block underneath your buttocks. We'll take the hands to heart center. Draw those shoulders back behind your ears, nice tall spine. Keeping the eyes closed. The clock is running. Make the most of today. Time waits for no man or woman. Yesterday is history. Today is a mystery.
No. Tomorrow's a mystery.
Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. That was by Alice Morse Earl, that version of that lovely little poem. Namaste, everyone. Taking the hands to the forehead, we bow down. Namaste. Have a wonderful afternoon. I hope you're enjoying your day and can get outside a little bit. It's a beautiful day here today in Ottawa, so we plan on taking a little walk at some point this afternoon. And enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining me, and keep up your yoga practice. It'll help release stress and tension from these crazy times that we're in. Thanks for joining me. And thanks to Marte.